I'll start with XRP, and I'll zoom out, and then I'll zoom in. Yeah. So I'm looking at this chart on the daily, and again you see that price action wave. Here's the center line, and equally here's the center line. So now I'm going to put this one here. There's another center line I have here. I'll correct it when I go in closer. So I'm looking at this spill here, and the question is, when I zoom in, is how far is it going to go? That's what I'm trying to figure out. It's been hitting my targets all the way along. This blue line here, there is about 29. There is a support line, 29.3. 29.3. There we go. There's a support line there as well. So let me just zoom in. So now you can recognize what these lines are. Is this line again is a support line all the way down. This is a center line, and again this is a center line as well. So, and these are support lines, and these are all long-term support and center lines. Yeah. So when we zoom in, here we are in the daily. Broke out of the triangle, broke out of the channel. It's spilling down. It broke this support line, back tested it. You can see the yellow channels, down 1, down 2. Seems to be heading down for a third one. It's a target there at 30. It's 30.21 is the bottom so far. It looks like it wants to keep going. So I have a blue support line here at 29.3, and then this red channel here at 28.68. So there's a support around the 29 mark. Is another marker that I'll be marking. Yeah. Then below that is, you see the yellow channels. There's a white line here, and that's looking at 26.7. 26.7. It also fits in with this red line here. Yeah. So I definitely think it's going to get to 28, 29. The question is will it get to 26? I don't know. All I can do is mark it down. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. I took 50% profit on my trade here. I'm waiting for this to dip a little bit more. The 12-hour turned. The 12-hour turned. There we go. The 12-hour turned, and I knew there'd be a little bit of a retrace, but I'm not sure how much of a retrace. I was hoping it would be held at the VWAP here, not go any further, and then over the next couple of hours push its way back down again. So I decided I'll take 50% profit, and when it starts to head down again, if it starts to head down again, once it breaks this line, I'll DCA in, and I'll be looking at 28, 29, possibly a push down to 26. So that's essentially the overall view of what I'm looking at. When I tune into this chart here, again, there's those blue support lines. Notice the yellow line here, and again, it's like a blowhorn blown out wider, and then the green channel. So that when I zoom in, you can see, I'll put it on the 4-hour. You can see it's systematically going down through the channels. Yeah. So what it was doing was 2 channels down, 1 up, 2 channels down, 1 up. Now this time it's taking a much deeper drop, and again a little retrace here in the 4-hour, and it looks like it's for continuation. So you can see it hit my red channel here, hit the blue one, did a sideways on the blue one, retrace back to the red one, hitting the white one at the moment, little retrace on the white one, and again is potentially heading down for the yellow one here at 28.4. So again, there's a support box as well, 29 to 28. Yeah, and then equally there's a green channel here, and again that's making a promise of 26. Yeah. So they're the targets as I map it out. Is when I go into this chart. Okay, so what's playing out here is the 4 hour, the EMA is the 4 hour 20 crossing over to 55. Now when I back test this, this is anything from, when a property spills, which it is, it's anything from a 20 to a 50% spill. So generally it's 20 or so, 30 to 35, and then 50, yeah? So when you look at this and you put a measure on, and right from where it crosses, it's done a 24% spill already. So if we go to 30-ish, 32-ish, is it, well, let's say 30-ish, there's 27, 35 is 25 and a half. So if it wants to do that 30 plus spill, you're looking at 27, 20 to 26 as a range. I don't think it's going to go to 50%, but if it did, it would be brutal. It would be down around, we kind of got it off the screen, it would be down around 19 cents, which has gone to before. I don't think it's going to do that. I think if Bitcoin goes around the 22, is XRP is probably going to go around the 20, 28, 27. It might wick down to the 26. So there's this spill here. Is you can see price action is moving away from the 20, but it needs to move away enough that the MAs can turn and start to get a proper lift on it. Yeah. So earlier on, I'll go back to, you see the 3 hour. There's the 3 hour. You see there was a little back test, but it didn't touch earlier on yesterday, last night. But the 2 hour touched it, got rejected off the 20 on the 2 hour. On the 1 hour, again broke through and again got a rejection. So you can see on the earlier time frames they're moving sideways, but what we really need to see is price action go like this and the EMAs go like that, so that you can get a proper lift. Yeah. So partly why I took profit is that potentially the 1 hour is looking to maybe test again, and if it breaks the VWAP, is I'm looking at it might go up and test 32, 50, 58. It may go up and do it 34, 50. I don't think it will, but it may do. And again, I think it's going to get rejected. It's going to get rejected until it really is able to break the four here, which I believe needs this to start going more sideways like this. And it's sort of coming down like this at the moment. So until you start to see this going sideways and this get a grip, I don't think it's going to happen. So I think there's a bit more space to go. When I zoom into the 15-minute, again you can see the play of it on the 15-minute. It's spilled there, drop a retrace, drop a retrace, drop a retrace, drop again, and a bigger retrace. I'm wondering whether this will just hit this and go down, or will it do a mountain peak, which I'll show you shortly. Yeah. So that's what I'm wondering. Is I'll show you one last thing. Is on the daily. This is the pattern playing out. Yeah. So this pattern playing out here on the daily is the 1, the 2, the 3, the retrace, and then the drop. And you've got these 2 long candles. Yeah. This is it on the daily, and it took weeks. When you tune into the 4 hour and you zoom in, you have the same pattern playing out on the 4 hour now. Is you've got the 1, the 2, the 3, the lift and the drop. And again, the question is have we dropped enough, or do we need to drop some more before we start going sideways and consolidate? Yeah. So I've measured this out previously. It's basically moving 50% of this. So when I go to the daily here, just to get this again, and I measure this, and I've measured different sections, but I'm just measuring this now. It's 64%. Okay, so when I measure this, from the fall here, from the release here, is, no, sorry, from here, is what do we say, 64, so it's 36, 35, 36%, no, hang on, 64, 32, 33% is 33%, 32% is 28, 33% is 27, 800, 28. So again, it's suggesting a 27 to 28 drop, yeah. Now, one last thing I'm going to show you on this. I've just noticed that here, this 786 here. When I zoom this all out, is this is the bottom of the bear market, impulse, and a correction to the 786. This is the SEC case. So this is the bottom, this is an impulse, and then the correction of this impulse. If you look at this, and XRP likes to do 786 corrections, is the correction of this impulse is we've come through, and there's the 786 at 28.7. Now again, it could wick through, so a 26 would be, or 25 would be also a possible target with a wick through. Equally, you can see that if you look at the price action here, there's a really strong support and resistance line here. I'll take this out here, is look at, and this has gone all the way back to 2019. You see this line here, so what I'm doing, I'm putting it where at the bodies of price action here. So you can see it was support, resistance, and back to support here. So we could get one of these with a wick through, but you can see how solid that is. And it's back to my, other chart with this one here. It's back to my other chart about looking at the overall pattern and the waveform. It's the same chart. I've just given it in more detail here, yeah. So there's a strong indication that 28 to 26 could be the bottom. Although we may have already hit it. We may have already hit it, but I think there's a bit more in the tank. And my last thing I'm going to point out is actually two things. Is the 15-minute arc here. Here it is here at the moment. And again, I'm mapping it out. And again, if it's bottoming out around the 28 or so, possibly even the 26, this will be it. And then we'll have our sideways. Then we'll have our consolidation pattern, and that'll kick in. And so I'm waiting to see where that goes. Yeah. And then the MAs are here. And then if I zoom in on the 12-hour first, and I look at this, and again, this is why I'm expecting a bit of a retrace. Is look at this 5 down here, and again, this long 12-hour candle is a bit of a retrace, a bit of a space between them. But the other MAs are looking pretty eager to push down, yeah. So you can see even there's a little bit of pushback already. So I think there might be one more candle. Maybe this 12-hour by the end of the day will complete the drop. That's what I'm thinking anyway, yeah. And just get it done. That's what it seems to be doing, yeah. There's the 10-hour. And see, there's the 10-hour and the 10-hour, the 5 and the 10 hours down further, so it's in a better position for a push. So these guys are the same with the 9. For the internet to there you go, the 9. You see there's a bit of a retrace, but you can see the 5 is pretty close, yeah. So when I go to the 4-hour, is you can see how close the 4-hour is on the VWAP. There's the 10. So it's all in a spill position. It just seems to be taking a little bit of a breather. Do you remember that drop? Where it's like the drop, a retrace, and possibly one more drop. Yeah. This may even turn red by the time the 4-hour is up. The 3-hour again, ready for a spill. It's good to go. The 2-hour again, it's ready. Look, it's all in place. A little bit of sideways going on here, so a bit of catching the breath. The 1 hour is definitely catching the breath here. Excuse me. And is the reason possibly why is you can see the stock RSI here, and look, the 1 is coming up. So the 1, by the time the 1 has come up like this, most of the effort's already done. The push up is already done. This is just coming back up to position itself. So you can see this sideways action is, it didn't lift high, but yet it's bringing the stock back up. And also the RSI is deep. Here's the oversold. So it was deep in the oversold. So it's coming up for a bit of a breather, yeah. Is the 30-minute is coming back up to the top. The 15-minute is back at the top, and the 5 is probably already up there. 5 is coming back up again. So I reckon that when the 1 hour, oh, sorry, that's the daily. Actually, look at the daily going down like that. So the daily is giving a good push down, but most of it's done already. When the 1 hour gets itself up here, we could be then taken ready to head back down. Yeah. The only fly in the ointment to that is we've got one more drop, and this is resistance peak, or we've already hit third spike, and possibly we're heading up for a double top, and first drop might give us that last final drop. So we might have to go up a little higher and then have the final drop. First drop can take it down as well. So there's that possibility. Or we're hitting third spike, we'll do a first drop, and then we're going to head up and start doing a mountain peak. So we start coming all the way back up to between 35 and 38 to do a mountain peak. I'm looking at the MAs. The MAs say there's a bit more to go. So I think there might be one more push down, whatever way it happens, before we get that. But I could be wrong. So I'm just being cautious. And then our way out of this, let's say this is the bottom, wherever we happen to go to here. I think our way out of it would be then is here's the bottom, mountain peak 1, third drop 2, and then this is when we get our relief rally and we start heading up into the mid-50s. So that's, when we hit this bottom, it'll be this, it'll be that, and then up we go. I believe, if it's the bottom. So that's it. That's me. I don't know whether I was over 5 minutes there or not, Mihaela.
Not at all, Roy.
Not at all. Excellent.
Right on time.
Right on time. Excellent. My intuition for this is I'm getting so tuned in. Okay, super duper.
To universal time.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so that's where it is now. Oh, my X, I am my 10x challenge. I am up at. Oh, what did I say? I'm up at 300. I think it's 355 or 60. 3.65. I think it is 3.65. And that will be up about 430 if I took profit at the moment. So, and that's been over the last 3.5 weeks. So yeah, so I'm doing pretty good. So when I hit my 10x, is I will reset and I will begin a new 10x challenge with myself, and I'll map it out. And I'm just going to continually keep doing that because it's a bit of fun, but also it just keeps the focus. So, all right, Mihaela. You want to share a screen?
Yes, I do.
Are you sharing the screen?
I don't know if you've stopped sharing yours.
I'm going to stop sharing mine.
I can still see yours.
There you go.
So,
there you go.
Now I'm supposed to be sharing my screen now. Yes, I think you can see it. Perfect. Okay, so I'll start with on the 4 hour where it is now, and then I'll switch to the shorter time frame as the New York session has just started and we need to see what's going on the day as well. Now, in the 4 hour time frame, as you can see, we're coming down levels in this retracement. So if we put the previous swing high broken the 786. And generally, if the 786 gets broken, we're looking at the 272 and then most popular, the 1618 levels for retracement. I've taken most of my profit at the 25 in somewhere in between these two levels, because I had a target for the sideways channel that it broke out of at so once it crossed the 28.5 and it retested it and it didn't get back above it, I had to close my my long. I had to take a loss because I was in a long before this whole drop started. And my technical target for the breakdown from the channel was 25.7, and somewhere between 25.7 and the previous support below at 25.2. I picked 25.5 to take 75% of my trade. Now I would still look to take the rest quite soon, because the 4 hours seems to be quite depleted in momentum. I'm not sure if it's gonna stop and do a bit of a break for a breather upwards before it hits the 22,800, let's say the 1272, or if it's going to continue to 1272 and then stop there, consolidate, and possibly head down lower towards the 20 grand, maybe the 19 grand, which is an area of support for Bitcoin. Now, I would still be looking to take most of the profit around the 22,800. And the reason being is there's a huge MA on the weekly, the 200. That's a 22K500. And that's where I expect a bit of pushback. So that's where I expect a nice retracement, at least to the 5 on the weekly during this week or during the next week in the 2 coming weeks. Another confluence for this price target. So we've got the fib, we've got the MA. Another one is a long-term channel. And by long-term, I mean a daily channel that we're in on Bitcoin. Let me change to daily. Perfect. So it is from the top of this, the all-time high from the 7th of November, 2021. So we are yet to reach the bottom line, and the bottom line at the moment is 22.9. It's not exceptional to have a spike down through the bottom line, and again in this way we would reach both our targets at 22.7 and the MA. Now on the 15-minute, things are a little bit more, how can I say, unclear, because it looks like Bitcoin, despite this, wait, it's a little bit slow, and it's TradingView is reacting a little bit slowly. It's made a lower low on the 15-minute, but it also looks like it's retraced quite fast from that lower low. So I am expecting a sort of like a reverse head and shoulders structure, and maybe a retest of the 25K, if not even the 26K, if it recovers from where it is right now. Again, I'm saying that because I know there are a lot of targets around the 22,000 and around the 19,000. So it would be a nice liquidity collection to spike it up to test the 20,600 level. If people entered a short here, they would be liquidated if they don't add some money to the margin, because it would be a 12% increase. A 12% up to the 786. If they're just going to retest the support and resistance, it's going to be about half, about 6%. So 10xers would be fine, but 25xers, 20xers would be liquidated if they don't add to the margin. So I am expecting this kind of a short-term retracement for the 4 hour to catch its breath. That's what I think Bitcoin is. In the evening, I'm going to do a little bit more of an analysis on the previous patterns, and we'll see again how the New York session went. If it does reach the 22.7, 22.8 and the MA in the meantime, then we're looking at how it reached it and what it's doing there. So we'll have a little bit more information. But as things stand, I'm looking at what's happened here on the 15-minute as a possible opportunity for maybe a 5 or 6% lift, so that it comes down, reaches the 22, and then possibly maybe the 20 grand. So it depends on you how you want to do this. If you want to take all your profit here and wait for the retracement and go in for the final push of the short, or stay in the short and be mindful that there might be a push up. And if there is a push up, again, depending on momentum, if momentum builds up, it might go up through the level. So you need to make sure your stop loss covers that. Now, for Ethereum, we are in a similar situation, but a little bit farther in level, because Ethereum, well, I'll say has reached the 50 MA on the monthly, which is the 200 MA on the weekly. It hasn't really touched it because I'm on Bitstamp now, but the wick is 1178 and the MA is 1142. So I'll take that for 30 points. Now, the issue with Ethereum, we have this cross, the 5 MA crossing over the 20, which has happened in September 2018. So if I'm to look at what happened after the cross of the 5 over the 20, it's a 79% drop. I'm not saying this would happen at the moment, because obviously we might find support here and then consolidate. At the moment, we've had a 54% drop. So from where it crossed, we've had a 4% drop. A 54% drop, and that means we have an extra 20% drop. So an extra 20%, 74, let's say, the $700 Ethereum, which sounds unreal to me. But so did the 1100 Ethereum on Friday or Thursday when we had our last session. And that happened. So the next level that I'll be looking for support on the way to the 600 or the $400 Ethereum is where it is right now. So on the 50 MA or the 50 MA on the monthly, or the 200 on the weekly, or the fib retracement. If we put the fib on the swing high of this or run, it's reached the 786. If the 786 holds, happy days. We might be looking at consolidation around the 1100 for maybe a couple of months. Here it lasted consolidation, let's say after the drop, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, almost 6 months. So we're looking at something like that. If the level doesn't hold, then the next support would be the Bollinger on the monthly, and that would be scary. It doesn't always reach it, so that's why it's reached it once. It hasn't reached it once, so it doesn't. It's not like a 100% pattern, but we need to see where we can find some support. In the short term, again, just like Bitcoin, there was a structure it fell out of. Like I enjoyed seeing how predictable it was the moment it broke. The moment it broke the 1720, it just kept going 100 or 150 points as ETH does. So we fell out of the structure. We met the target to a T, the 1340, and now we're breaking this level. So unless we move back above this level, the next level would be around the 1100 or 1058. The 4 hour, just like Bitcoin, is exhausted, so we might catch a breather by retesting the 1342. I expect a little bit of a retrace, unless it's, complete capitulation. But that would be the next level of support. So I'm not jumping in saying, okay, we're going to reach the 400 ETH tomorrow. I'm saying that there are still levels of support, historic support. And I'll take you back to where I've seen this one just to see where I get it from. So it's coming from this area over here, where it consolidated for about, I don't want to approximate, from the 3rd of January to the 22nd. So for about 3 weeks before going up on an absolute, when I say bender, an absolute rampage. So it did a nice lift. Now let's expect, I would expect some consolidation here around the 1100 or 1058, late 1000. So that's me for Bitcoin and Ethereum. We may get a slight retracement just to allow for the 4 hour to cool down a bit, or not. We might continue to the next level of support and then stop there. Next level of support, 1100 for Ethereum and late 22,000s for Bitcoin. So thank you for listening. If you guys have any questions, I'll take them now.
Super. Thanks, Mihaela.
You're welcome.
So if nobody's up questions right now, is great. We can jump back in. We'll be back in tonight now, and we'll take our time and we'll go through it in more detail. And part of what might be interesting for you guys as well is, if you're looking at the way we talked about this a few weeks ago about, looking at our system of TA, our strategy, and going through our checklist all the time. So it's one of the reasons why we're doing these live sessions, is you can see us and how we're reading through our TA and our trading strategy. So if you want to start getting into that conversation more with us, is in tonight's session we can do that. And then equally is we're open to doing private sessions where we're not doing it for YouTube. We're just going to have a session between ourselves, and we can just get stuck into more refined detail. But very much, we're letting you guys lead it, because we'll still put out training videos, but we can put out training videos and it's like a general video for a specific topic, but it's a general video, or we can start getting into much more refined detail about what you guys are doing and how you're using your TA and your strategy. But I'm going to put that back on you. If you have questions, if you want to get into a conversation, is initiate it and we'll get it going. Yeah. Because at this stage, you guys have quite a good grounding in what you're doing. You're probably having some wins and some losses along the way. Is really what we're looking to do at this stage, is refine and tighten up so that you find your consistency. So that would be my core focus with the conversation with you guys as we're going forward. Is I really will be looking at where What are the things that we need to tighten up on that are going to create that consistency? Because at the end of the day, once you know everything you need to do, you just need to now be consistent with it. That's like the last piece to fall into place is consistency. So have a think about that, and then just engage as you do along the way, and we'll keep trucking on. Yeah. So enjoy the rest of your day, and hopefully we'll see you later on tonight for the weekly review. Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Have a good day. See you later.
See you, Lee.
Thank you.
Cheers.
See you, Neil.
There's Neil. Was Neil there?
See you, Vida.
Oh, that was O'Neill. Vida. Hey,
It's
Vida.
O'Neill, yes. And Farouk was back.
Farouk. Yes. Very good. All right. Chat to you later.